Ready, mate? Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Celtic Unrestricted View podcast. My name is Ryan Clifford, and yes, JP's joined me this week. This another episode of this week because we've been jammed a block this week with episodes. The big house awaits JP on Sunday. As we said before we came on, it's a massive game. Thursday night now, so it's kind of into the nitty gritty. Namely, just the build up talk, and we can get right into it. I think obviously a lot of things happened today with Ben Doak. The Rangers pulling out the friendly. There's a lot of stuff to talk about in this first night episode. Mate, how's things? And obviously looking forward to the game on Sunday.
Hi mate, good evening. Fantastic. Big house awaits. Hopefully the big house will be shut by the time you're finished with them on Sunday, mate. That's what we all want to see, I suppose. As I say, starting to get to that point of the week now. We're all starting to, I think we're all chomping at the bit now. We know that we've seen the training clips, videos, photos, whatever we've seen. Looks like certain players have resumed training, full training. I.e. Tom Rogic, certain other players, Forrest back in training. So it could potentially be a fully fit Celtic team for the first time this season. Or near enough a fully fit strength squad. And then obviously you see tweets and photos of major problems and crises on the horizon, mate. So, all good. Obviously we'll touch on the boy Dokes and other things, but I'm looking forward to the game now, mate.
Obviously, we can touch on obviously stuff in the media today, mate. What we like today, obviously, here is obviously we get the media stuff and try and highlight it again if possible. I don't think what's been highlighted in the media has not been missed, obviously, because it's freshly out. But obviously, during the big game, on the big game on Sunday, obviously, their striker, Big Alfredo, they're all trying to say it's mind games. And a game that I listened to Super Score the night, what a laugh that was. I don't normally listen to it myself, but when they get beat or the draw and the drop points, I listen to it for a wee laugh and a joke. And again, because of the build up to the week, I want to see what fans are saying and whatever else. And Rangers fans are phoning and saying that's a wind up and what else. So guys, when I go to Glasgow Airport with crutches for a wind up, come on, it's mental. It wouldn't surprise me, mate, if it's just maybe a scare and he's going to get checked out. But it wouldn't surprise me, mate, if he walked out Sunday. But if their photos are correct, which as it stands at the moment, they are. In my experience of playing football, mate, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're 3 days before a big game in crutches, very seldom you're going to play in the game on Sunday unless you get 4 or 5 injections to cure the pain. Because as much as I think, for me, I want obviously for us to a better chance of winning the game, you want any player out that they can have out, which is obviously a bonus. But I think as a neutral and a spectacle, I think you want the full Celtic team and the full Rangers, because then you have no excuses he was out injured, or he was out injured, or he was suspended. So I think the game itself, with Morelos fit and Kyogo fit for us, it'd be a different game, I think, for both teams. But you've got to look at our side, mate. And for me, if he's no fit, I would say it's an advantage Celtic, because let's be fair, we've seen it in the game at Celtic Park. I think Roof was up front, didn't really give him nothing. Kent couldn't hit anybody. Morelos, as much as we might not say he might not be better than Edouard or Kyogo, he's their best player probably. He's our best finisher. He's probably our best chance of getting success with goals. So if he's not playing, I would like to say it's 1 point to us.
Definitely. I actually heard he injured himself chasing Gio in the cloakroom at the soft play.
But give my boys back, Gio. You're a very small man.
Gio's at that size now. He can actually hang his NJ cut up now in the pegs. That's good news.
He's a very small man, isn't he?
Aye. No, I think he's a talisman, isn't he? He's a main man. He's a big contributor for them. I think he's a big loss to them, and he's certainly not there. And obviously, it certainly doesn't look like he'll be there on Sunday. He might be there, but he'll be a spectator, I think, personally. Actually, it was interesting reading some of the, once you had to translate button, obviously, for on Twitter. It was actually interesting to read some of the Colombian info in regards to their testing with him and, you know, what they were doing when he was there, the fitness testing side of things. And their actual coach came out and says that they're holding Rangers responsible due to negligence. Apparently, this isn't an injury he's just picked up. Apparently, he's been playing through this for a wee while.
I'm sure, sorry to cut you off, but I'm sure somebody, I don't know if it's a pundit or somebody says that the other day that he's been wearing Stratton. Is that just, I don't know if that's true or he was already...
It's just his Saturday night special, mate.
Aye, a fucking strap on.
Is that a strap on or a strap? You sure it was the right strap you put there?
Fuck knows, mate. But I'm sure supposedly, again, I don't know if it's
Jimmy
true.
Bell into a bit of bondage on a Saturday night.
Fucking me, Jimmy Bell was dying to put that 60 hang up into in that fucking Legends game. Prick. But I know, but in a serious matter, I've heard, I don't know, again, I don't really follow Rangers and their injuries, but as far as I've heard that supposedly he's had Stratton on it before. I don't know if that's true, but for what you're saying, obviously it might be.
He's come off it too. He's come off the last two games, so obviously he's come off and he's had to put ice packs on. It's the same injury because he came off the Red Start game. He got injured early in the Red Start game and actually played on, and then he came off the Dundee game. And I'm sure he hurted it. I actually think the incident happened at Ibrox in the first leg of the Red Star game. But they've said that they weren't happy because the Rangers let him go to international duty non-fine well with an injury. When he got tested earlier, apparently their manager says that they right away they could see that this wasn't something that just happened to him. It was an ongoing issue. So that was interesting. Obviously, and you can understand why. The state of panic, I'd imagine, that must be there when you're obviously when they know that there's a title challenge on, and I think they're trying to throw everything they can at try to win the title. But asking the players to play through the pain barrier just because you don't have the cover required. I don't think they've got any one of the ones that come in for him, Roof or whoever it may be. They're nowhere near as good as what he brings to them. I just don't see anybody else the same as him. And I think if he doesn't play on Sunday, I think our back five, if you include Tart, will have a field day, mate. I don't think they'll have the quality the way you've seen it at Parkhead.
I know. I think what you're saying, mate, is what I would say as well. Again, a lot of Rangers fans rate Ryan Kent, but Edouard's got the same amount of goals as him, and Edouard's been missing for months. People might say that he's fat, he's tricky, he's quick, but I don't think I don't follow the assists, but for my imagination, I don't think his assists are amazing. I might be wrong here, but goal scoring wise, for a guy that supposedly paid £7 million for in a title challenge this season, to score 2 or 3 goals for me is not good enough. If that was Jota or Abada for Forest, I know Forest has hardly played, but he's only scored 1 goal. But if that was Abada or Jota or even Maeda, you'd be like, he shouldn't be playing because he's not scored enough goals to merit playing a game like that. But Rangers fans obviously see him as one of their biggest threats for Morelos. If Kent's not there, if Morelos isn't there, Kent's got to look for, like the Rangers game, the game at Parkhead. I'll give him his due, he was trying, Heinz Kent, but he had nothing. He had nothing to hit. Joe Rebo was away off it. Morelos wasn't there. So how's that going to, for me, I know people are saying that, I think I've seen Kevin Thompson saying that if Rangers start early, get in Celtic face, make a few tackles, it might change the mood and get us up for it, which I can take his point. But for me, I even spoke to my old man the day before, the day, mate, that I know certain games, these games sometimes forms out the windy and it's all about the battle and how you perform the day. But I know we get beat last year off from just about nearly, I think, 4 or 5 games or whatever it was, right? But we didn't get absolutely humiliated like they did at Celtic Park. And Rangers fans, I'm sure quote it all they want. Celtic gave up at half time. The game was finished. Celtic didn't come out and they still came out and tried, but they knew the game was done. And like yourself, mate, you played football before. See at half time, you're 4-5-0 up. It's only natural you take your foot off the gas and you take players off and you rest players, etc. that was 3-0 going on 7 or 8. Celtic were unbelievable in the first half. Second half, toiled off a bit, but I think that was due to because obviously where they were at half time. If I was a player, obviously you're still going to be buzzing up for the game, but there must be a slight doubt in your head that if Celtic get an early goal or they start with the same way of playing, the same intensity, they get a few other chances. For me, I think the doubt would start creeping in. And if you've no got IE Morelos, Celtic fans might say what you talk about him for, but for me, him and Kent are probably the only two players. Aribo to an extent might create something, but they two are probably the only two players that might get something through. Obviously, Ramsey, if Ramsey's fit, no matter, but he's not played this year, and we've all had a bit of backing about him, been injured and whatever else. The guy is probably technically the best player. Let's be fair, he probably is, right? So if Ramsey's fit and Ramsey's on song, he'll cause a bit of hassle, there's no doubt in that, but he's not going to maybe have Morelos to hit, so it might change the dynamics. So for me, if Morelos doesn't play, mate, like you say, I think it's no Celtic or Celtic guaranteed to win, but it definitely gives an advantage to us. Like you say, the back four still going to have pressure on them, but a lesser pressure. No going to have let's be fair, he's a nasty, horrible bastard when it comes to the dirty side of the game. They're not going to have roof for the elbows and roof for the arse in their face. So it's a wee bit of leeway for Celtic, but again, there will be still pressure with whoever's playing against them.
Aye, I would agree with that, mate. I also just think he's... See, I don't get the hype with Morelos that other people do. He is decent, don't get me wrong, but he's not what they think he is. He's not going to get Rangers 20 million.
No,
it's not happening. I think he's decent to an extent, but he can't high press.
Mm-hmm.
He can't chase the game. He can't, like say, I'll give you an example, like Maeda.
Yeah.
He can't do that. He can't do what Kyogo does. He can score goals and he's a threat that way. And he's good at backing into people. He's strong physically. I don't think he's good technically because he makes a lot of errors as much as he does anything good. So no. But I think when he doesn't play in the team, you notice it. I think he's that kind of good.
Yeah.
When he did, because they don't have somebody else like him. I don't think Roof's the same. They did have William Defoe. He's retired now. Again, I don't think as much as they think he contributed really well, considering what he did in the Premier League. He was like an amateur up here.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think as I say, there's nobody else there that can play that role. You spoke about Aribo there. He's yet to turn up in that fixture for him, right? The games that he's been played, the games he's played in so far. Kamara got hooked at Celtic Park,
mm-hmm.
and then he was took off at half time. Barisic was hooked at half time. So, like, they mentally, mate, that's got to have an effect on you. When you see that fixture coming up again, you're like, oh no, just get through this. Like, don't want, I know it. They're Abada, they're Jota, they're Kyogo. Oh, God, Kyogo's part of the team now. They're Giakoumakis. That's what it's like now. It's like, oh no, I don't like playing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just hope they're not at it. Hope they're not. Do you know what I mean? And that's what's happening. That's for this Celtic team, mate. That's exactly what's happening now. Teams are, I said to you before, mate, teams are actually going like that to themselves now. Oh man, see if we only concede 1 or 2 a day, we'll be doing well.
Aye.
If we can limit this mob to the chances that they're going to create. Because we have got quality in abundance now. You can play Jota on the right, you can play Abada on the right, you can play Forrest on the right, you can play Jota on the left, you can play Maeda on the left. You can play Giakoumakis through the middle, you can play Maeda through the middle, you can play Kyogo through the middle, you can play Turnbull, you can play Hatate, you can play McGregor, you can play Beaton, you can play O'Reilly, you can play Rogic. Look at that depth, man.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that.
No.
They've not. See if you take Kent out of their team, there's nobody as direct as that. What's the Cala wants to do is run into people. You ever watch him playing football? He's like Forrest Gump.
He's hopeless, mate. Rangers fans, he scored a few goals, but he's for me, for the league he came from, the team he came from, and he's a free transfer. For me, if that's the level, for me, they're trying to aspire to and try to get to, then I can't see them. But that's the reason why I feel lost the league, mate. I'd be sick, because apart from, I would say, Ramsey, the calibre player they brought in, it's not good enough. They've not really strengthened, the same as us last year. We strengthened, but we didn't strengthen the team. We just strengthened the squad. We didn't actually, like you say, underneath, mate, we didn't actually strengthen the team for the formation to play style of play. We just signed good players and thought they would work. But the way, like you say, we've got now, we signed guys that can come in. So, like you say, Beaton, who sometimes underrated, sometimes he can make a buzz it, but he is reliable and he can calm the game down, etc.
Yeah.
If we're 1-0 up with 10 minutes going, McGregor's tired, you can put on McCarthy, you can put on Beaton, you can change it about and actually and no expected the game to drop. Even McCarthy's come in a few games and he's played well. So I do agree with you that we have got able guys now to come in, and even if obviously McGregor's half injured in the second half, it's a blow, but you know who's going to come on. Might not be fucking top draw like McGregor, but you know that it's not going to drop down that much that Celtic's going to be doom and gloom.
No, because the tempo's still there. Because you've got the option now, I know, like, if you don't want to play Taylor at left back, you don't want to play Ralston. You can play Ralston at right back and Juranovic, at left back. You don't want to play Scales. So you've got that option now as well. You've also got the option now, you've got 4 centre-halves that can come in and easily play just as well as the two that have been amends this season. You've got Big Julian back fit, who, to me, I thought he would have been like a new signing. But obviously, I can understand and get now why Ange hasn't just threw him straight back in. Because how do you replace the two that have been amends? They have been absolutely quality all season. And Joe Hart, I mean, you heard about all the nonsense about him the other day. I watched a thing with Simon Jordan off Talk Sport, and he's sitting talking to Trevor Sinclair. That guy gets paid to sit and talk that amount of jobbies.
See, to be fair, mate,
it's unbelievable.
Simon Jordan's all right. Sometimes I like him, right? Some of these things he talks about football is really good, about the money side, etc. But with some of them, we're talking about Joe Hart, mate, I generally thought it was a big insult to the guy. I listened to his podcast last night for 2.5 hours. It was brilliant, mate. It's one of the only podcasts I actually sat and I listened to it, and it was brilliant, mate, about his career. And he's like, people think I failed. He went, I've not failed anywhere I've went. The media think I failed because they don't know what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know if you've listened to this. Did you listen to yourself?
You put it on the chat, and I listened to it. I ended up a bit, because it was late the other night when you put it on. Right. I listened to the first 45 minutes here. I know it's a couple of hours.
Did you get to the bit where it was at Man City?
Aye, because it told you, obviously, at the beginning, when Isaacson and all that were on it, and the guys, and you forget to see the guys that he's played with. I think when he was at, who was it he was with? Was it Burnley? And he had Nick Pope and all that were on there, and and then obviously at Birmingham, Tranmere, Torino. He's had a great experience, like, in the game. But to call it, for Simon Jordan to sit there and say, the guy's rotten.
I know. But 75 cats for England, you're rotten. Come
up to Celtic Park and
see him.
And watch him. We've got a luxury now of seeing him every week. Oh, obviously, when he was down in England, we probably weren't privy to a lot of what was going on with him. But because now he's a big, by the way, he's a massive, let me put that out there now. He's a massive point to our team now. He's massive, absolutely massive. Not just in stature, just to have an dressing room with the boys and the experience of him, the way he has at games, Ryan. I know it's not just like that one. I know he took a selfie there last year for her and Jota. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's when have you can you cast your mind back to even Rodgers' teams? When did you see the players having that sort of relationship with the fans?
No, never.
I've never seen it, lads, before. And it's all down to their character. It's all down to who they are. And then that video that's came out today, I know with
a team talk, probably.
With the team talk, and it's him. He talks as well. There's part of him talking. Joe Hart. There's part of McGregor talking, and then there's obviously that speech for Ange. Mate, you'd run. I mean, imagine being part of that team. You'd run through a steel door for him, man. And now we can understand why we saw the team perform the way they have this season. Because that must be the way he treats every one of them. That must be how he, if that's how your manager treats you and that's how he coaches you, no one of them they're going to hit heights. This is just the beginning, right? We've still to see Celtic take into a cycle under Ange. This is just the beginning. He's just kind of settled the team. He's just settling the team. Once this team hits this team hasn't hit full pelt yet. And the way that he wants to play, where you get the Champions League next season, right? You can bet your bottom dollar right now there'll be severe quality being added to that side in order to give us a chance to compete. And I can just get that by knowing the type of man that Ange is, that we've got to know over the last 9 months.
I think that as much even under Rodgers, I thought we would do well. We've done all right? But I think under Ange, if again you've got to, as much as you want to say we're going to win league and win this, you've still got to say if we win the league and we do obviously get in the group stages, I do feel it's the board will back him, because if what he's done and then they don't back him, you must be like, what is going on here? Because the guy's been absolutely outstanding. And for me, it's I just find it very hard not to agree with you that I think he will be better for us next year in Europe if we do obviously qualify for the group stages. I think he will be a bit more quality added. I think the board will trust him like they have now. Because let's be fair, like we've said months ago, and a few other guys have come on recently and says it months ago as well, they kind of backed him blind because he was kind of doing his own scouting away. And that again, Joe Hart, he was only really spoke about Celtic, mate, for it's about 7 minutes. It's the last 7 minutes, 8 minutes of the podcast, mate. It was right at the end, and he said how the move came about. And like, I'm sure I knew there was rumours about him last year. I knew Lennon wanted him last year, and obviously I didn't know why. I didn't know why it didn't happen. He basically says that Celtic, it wasn't Lennon, it wasn't the players, it wasn't. He says that, listen, Celtic didn't need to tell me. I would go to Celtic, he says, but the board didn't think that I had any selling value. And I'm like that myself. So they kind of fucked 10 in a row, because then they were an experienced goalkeeper, but they'd signed a fucking, no a rookie, but a guy who's inexperienced in this country for $5.5 million, and you could go to Joe Hart for a season and might have won your league. So
they also thought Barkas wasn't going to turn out the way it was. But probably there was sell-on value. I think it was 24 at the time. So there was sell-on value there. So
that's what Joe Hart says. He says, he didn't say Lawwell, but he said the guy's hierarchy didn't think I was going to be sell-on value. I can take it to a certain degree, but at Joe Hart at 32 and a half, 33, fucking for nothing. Crazy why we didn't get him last year, but he basically says that Celtic he says that he didn't go on with the Spurs hierarchy. He says arseholes, fucking the way they work's ridiculous. He says that I walked down and went, good morning, and that was it. He says I'm not that type of guy. He says I don't mind. He says I don't mind meeting the public out the street. I'll talk to them about football, but when they start getting a bit cheeky, I go, look, pal, fuck off, cheerio. I'm not getting involved in that. He says if somebody wants to talk to me politely, I'll chat football all day, but as soon as people start getting nasty or they make me comments, I don't get involved in it. But he basically says that Spurs says, oh, but just let you know, Celtic have came in contact, we've gave him permission to speak to you. He's like, oh, thanks a lot, fucking cheers, know what I mean? He says, listen, Celtic didn't need to persuade me nothing. He says, I know about Celtic, I know the club. But Ange phoned me up and he's like, I'm a type of manager, I'm a type of player that I need certain things in my life, the squad, etc. And he says, Ange picked up the phone, hi Joe, how's things? He's like, look, he didn't say gaff, I just says, look, I just say to him, look, before you speak, can I speak and tell you what I demand and what I want? and if you still want to pursue me, then happy days. If you don't, I won't be offended. I just want to tell you what I want, and I won't tell you, mate, but he basically says that he wants to be loved, this and that, and demands that he wants. And Ange went, look, Joe, I don't care. I know your goalkeeping situation. I know what you're like as a goalkeeper, but now what you've just told me there, I'm fucking pursuing it. So basically what he says is he knew he was a fantastic goalkeeper, but what he's like as a character, a human being, that's why Ange wanted him as well. So I can see, like you're saying, you can tell that he's building characters, not just good players. If a guy like even Bogdanovic, Celtic's in my heart already. I love the club, my family's Celtic here. Why would I want to go anywhere? But we're all a big family, and that wasn't last year. Last year was all. It looked like the French boys were there, the Scottish boys were there, the other foreign. It just looked all over the place. This year they're all together, and like you says, I think Ange has brought the fans back together again. We're no doing stupid fucking protests, which again, some of it was uncalled for, but some of it was very, very granted. But I just think that the guy's transformed us, and like you say, he's building guys like Joe Hart. Again, if anybody's not listening to the podcast, I would listen to it. I might be 2 and a bit hours. Sit with a beer, sit in the bath or something, go a walk. It's brilliant. It's really interesting to hear about the guy's career. But I agree with you, mate, that guys like that in your squad, how can you know, even next year in Europe, mate, with Joe Hart, you can be confident that you're going to do all right, because he's only 34, mate, 33. He's not fucking 39. He's still at these day and age, mate. You know yourself, goalkeepers can play to fucking 39, 40, still at the top of the game. Like, as much as we don't want to talk about him, McGregor's still a decent goalkeeper for Rangers. He's still a good shot stopper. He's made mistakes because he's getting older, but he's still a big player for them. And like Joe Hart, for us, mate, Joe Hart's he's pitiful. Because like I said to you the other day, see Scott Baines in goals on Sunday, I'm worried. Fuck. Because we've not got number 1 in goals. Like I says, we should be trying to get a better goalkeeper, but that's for another podcast. But for me, mate, Joe Hart, like you says, mate, he's absolutely crucial to your team.
Absolutely. I tell you what, I'll be worried on Sunday if Scott Baines there. I've not heard Joe Hart's injured.
No, he'll win fucking Poundland, get sweets with touches.
Listen, I'm not going to say, unless he's got a photo of similar to El Buffalo, then then I'll start worrying. No, you could give him crutches, he's still not saving a ball, mate. But no, I agree with you, Ryan. I think Joe Hart's tremendous. I think he's been tremendous. He's been absolutely quality for our team. The best thing I've seen, like the double save there in Leverkusen, mate, that was unbelievable. That's a new level of goalkeeping, mate. I have never saw anything like that in my life. I swear to God, I've not, honestly. The reaction to save the first one, which should have been a goal, and then he gets the second one. Like, unbelievable. I've never seen it like that before, mate, and it was. I was shocked. I was stunned. Twice I was stunned in that game. The Kyogo penalty, I thought that came out of nothing as well. I didn't really notice the goalie make a foul, but when you see it back with the VAR, you're going, "Oh, that's a foul." But I thought that came out of nothing. But that save with Joe Hart that night was the double save. That was unreal. And he's done things this season that you're like, Joe, that's unbelievable, man. How did you do that? Like, some of the saves he's pulled off. That one he saves. He saved us in the cup final too a couple of times. One big Nisbet was through, and then was it the boy Newell right to the death? That's, as I say, he's been a big player for us. That last derby at Parkhead, I think he was in the house playing the Xbox, mate. I don't even think he was there because he had nothing to do. And again, that was all testament to Greg Taylor, Juranovic, Starfelt, and big CCV. But no, I can't even remember seeing him at that last derby there. I don't know if he was there. Oh, in fact, I do remember him, but he was going in and clapping everybody at the end. And that was the first time I noticed Joe Hart. I actually can't even tell you what jersey he had on that night. It was that quiet. There's been a few games this season where he's been sitting on a deck chair behind the goal, but talking about the ball boys, isn't there?
You bit of cigar action.
Aye. Big Ange threw another ball in for our team, remember? He was shouting and bawling at Big McManus, stop playing keep it up, scaring that ball.
My ball, my rules.
You get off your laptops, that, and go and help them.
See, that's another thing I know. See, this year...
It's not a laptop now, it's an iPad.
No, an iPad. But see, because we're doing well now, nobody... That's what I'm saying. I think last year there were just scapegoats. That we had to blame somebody last year, and you can't blame the coaching staff. I mean, we've all played football, mate, until you're past that white line, the coaching staff can help you, but once you're past that line, it doesn't matter if you've done your training and whatever else, it's up to the players on that day. But obviously, mate, the big game is Sunday, obviously we'll talk about the Ben Dalton that later, but obviously it is a massive game. I'm even more confident, even though, let's be fair, right, I know it's going to be a full Ibrox crowd, basically. You'll probably hear the Celtic fans, but we all know it's going to be a cauldron. It's not going to be the way it was at Celtic Park, because obviously there's no lights, there's no nighttime atmosphere, it's no as the anticipation in that game. But I think this game, they'll work for it. We all know they'll work for it. I do think I don't want to tempt fate, but the way the media has been, I think Rangers will be hyped up. Everything's all Rangers need to win, Rangers need to do this, and it's probably the only game in the last few years, mate, I would say, that apart from, obviously, if I say a few years, the last two games, I would say, sorry, it's not really anybody's really mentioned Celtic but winning. They're just saying Celtic just need to turn up and just don't play bad, and I think they'll be all right. So for me, I'm happy with that, because nobody's really giving us any pressure. Obviously, inside Celtic, we all know the fans and Ange will be a lot of pressure on the game, but for the media, it seems to be everything's all about really Rangers, about Gio has to win and they need to win, and McCoy all we need to win, and so for me, it's I'm happy with that, because sometimes when it's all need to go and win, sometimes it sets you up for failure. Like us in Europe, I've always said, I can always remember, I'm sure we played Mulder away in Europe, and I think Stefan Johansson came out the day before it and says Mulder are not in the league and blah 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 blah, and we get fucking pumped, and I was like, you don't say stuff like that. It's different. Like Jackie Marcus came out and been positive and saying stuff, we know what we can do in the league, that's different. But to come out and saying that is, for me, is bonkers. So I'm happy. I don't really read the papers, mate. I read online, but you've not really heard much for Celtic this week at all, mate, so far. Thursday, nobody's really come out and said anything. It's all been about the Rangers talking, pundits come out about Rangers. So again, as a fan, I'm happy with that, because I'm fully expecting Celtic to win, mate. As much as it's a Glasgow derby, again, anything can happen. First minute red card, injury, anything can happen in these games. But like you says, mate, I'm borderline saying that if Celtic play the A game, and even last year, mate, I always say even last year when we were shite, if Celtic turned up, if Scott Brown and McGregor and Edward turned up to their full potential, I still believe Celtic win the game. I still believe that, even last year when we were shite. I think this year, I was going to say tomorrow, it's fucking Thursday, Sunday's game, if we turn up with, like you say, mate, every player's on it, your Hatatis, McGregor's, Jackie Marcus is bullying people, Maeda's, Jota, if we're on it and they're on it, I still believe there's only one winner, mate. I just can't see how our best team gets beat. That's it doesn't matter if it's Kyogo, Jackie Marcus, if it's Dawson up front, I don't care. If they all turn up to the best ability, I just can't see us losing, mate. And that's sometimes I don't want to be too cocky. I don't want to walk in and go, piece of piss, because it's all about our game, mate. We know that. But as a Celtic fan, and for what I've seen plays this year, and especially the last game, mate, I do believe that inside the fans, I'm actually going to have a look at the forums to see what they're saying, because I like to see what they say before the games. I genuinely believe that. I think they'll be shiting it. I think they'll be fearful, because if we get an early goal that we have been in some games this year, I think they've got a long 90 minutes ahead of them.
I agree with you, mate. Just getting back to we're saying about our players and stuff. I absolutely see, just as you said that, mate, I nearly get goosebumps there, man, when you said all their names. That's just that's what I was saying at the beginning. It's just sheer quality that's through our side. It's unbelievable. The team that we've got now, the options we've got. The players are all fit, man. They're all ready to go. I think what's been good as well, mate, is I think they've not had the whole. They've had this disruption with the international break as well. I think it's helped as well, and it's no. They've not had to listen to too much because probably some of them might have only been back this morning.
Aye.
For flights, some of them are being long flights, some no. Maybe yesterday or the day. Mora will probably hard hit it tomorrow, and then you become pre-match stuff. Then after that, you know what I mean. So I think that's a tactic for Ange Taylor. I think it's like we don't need to talk because we talk on the park. So everything's all watertight now again. Right, as when Rodgers was there, nothing's getting out. No team sheets are getting leaked. There's no this is getting leaked, that's getting leaked. There's not a lot of that happening, mate. Things that are getting leaked are things that Celtic have normally way down the line, now. And it's maybe Celtic that have went, you know what, this is 24 hours for happening, we're ready to fucking announce this, we're ready to do this, we're ready to do that. That's what you're seeing being leaked now.
Yeah.
It's what Celtic want leaked, is what's been leaked. Squad-wise, mate, we're probably in the healthiest place we've been all season. I would love nothing more. I think having Kyogo as an option on the bench, I think they'll shite themselves. I think they'll look at that and go, oh no. Because then you've got, especially if they've not got Morelos, they're going to look at that and go, oh no. Because I know I would, if I was the opposing manager, I'd be looking at that going, oh, here. Because my game plan isn't planning for him. And if that's, because Andrew's good at that and Orion, he's good at throwing in a curveball. Like we daft things like putting Jota on the right instead of the left. Teams are going like that. He's normally LL, what's he doing LL?
I'm saying, do you think, again, you're talking about curveballs, I know he might not be 100% fit, right? But would it surprise you if he throws in tumble? Would it surprise you?
Probably would, Ryan, aye.
But that's the type of surprise that he might actually throw in.
Well, that is the type of surprise Ange would give me. It would also be a big surprise, just for talk's sake, if you put McGregor higher and Paul Beaton into midfield to solidify it. Because, again, that's another option you've got, to put Beaton in beside Hatate. Do I think he'll do it? No. I think, for me, I said it the other night, I think the midfield picks itself. My team, personally, would be Hart, Juranovic, Starfelt, Carter-Vickers, Taylor, McGregor, Hatate, O'Reilly would be the three in the middle. Maeda on the left, Jota on the right, Giakoumakis through the middle. And the only one I'm torn between, right, is Maeda and Abada. Abada's got 17 goals this season, mate. It's going to be very hard to leave the boy out, especially just scored a beauty there for Israel's under 21s as well. So, in one of the two games that he played for them. So again, it's another option that, you know, he's going to be torn between. But you look at current form, you look at the form of the team the last few games, he can't drop Giakoumakis, and he scored back-to-back hat-tricks at Celtic Park, and he scored a brace at Tannadice. So he scored 8 goals in his last 4 or 5 games. There's no way you can drop him. Even if there's 95% of Kyogo fit, you still can't drop the big man. You can't just pull him out of the team. It would be really unfair, and I think it would dent his confidence doing that to him. Like I say as well, I don't think there's going to be much rotation now with the team now. I think the team's going to be, we don't have midweek football anymore. Unless there's another break, maybe the weather's bad and you can't get a game played and it's going to be played maybe on a Tuesday or a Wednesday night or whatever. But I seriously doubt that'll happen. So I think the fact that you're going to be, also, you win on Sunday, you're then going to be playing before them for now at the end of the season, or for now till they drop out, if they drop out of Europe. Because you're either going to be playing on a Saturday, or you're going to be playing at 12:30 on a Sunday, whereas they'll be playing at 3 or 4 o'clock on a Sunday. So you're always going to be playing before them. So you go 6 points ahead, with 6 games to go. You've got St Johnstone again before the split at Celtic Park. You're looking at another scudding potentially there, because they've been pants all season. Celtic again at home have been formidable. So you're potentially looking at Celtic going into the last 6 games, 6 ahead, playing before them. You're then looking at the post-split. You've got them again at Parkhead. That could go to 9, Ryan. You could look at the next couple of weeks, mate. We played them in a semi-final. You beat them there. Rangers' season could just go like that, under their noses, within the space of a couple of weeks. Celtic, obviously, they could knock us at the Scottish Cup as well. You could put that scenario across and say, right, Celtic, are they going to win a treble? But we're in a great position to win a domestic treble again.
Yep.
And to even be here, Brian, considering what we saw last season, is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. If you win the semi-final, then you've got to... I mean, all right, you've got the Edinburgh Derby in the other semi. 2 hard teams. But you've got to fancy Celtic's chances in a cup final at Hampden. All you've got to do is look at Celtic's record at Hampden.
Aye, you say Celtic shite at Hampden. How many trophies have won at Hampden the last fucking...
People forget that used to be our home. People forget that used to be our home stadium before when Parkhead was getting renovated and done it.
That's a fucking training ground for us these days, man.
Aye, so that's like exactly. So, as I say, but you could potentially look at all these scenarios, and if you win on Sunday, it gives you huge momentum. If they've not got him for Sunday, and they potentially then play Braga on the Thursday night, if he's not there for that game, they're going to, before you know it, it's going to be back to the war stuff, mate. Because then I think somebody was saying, and I don't know if this is 100%, maybe one of the listeners could maybe correct me if they can, that would be great. Because I'm not sure how percentage-wise I'm sure of this. But I'm sure I read on Twitter 2 weeks ago that when we go into the split, Celtic will only have one away. The way it works out the now and the way the league's gone now, Celtic will only have one away fixture in the split, which is going to be Tannadice. They're going to have 4 away games and only 1 game at Ibrox.
See, I'm not sure myself, mate. I don't know.
Neither am I.
I don't know if it was 3 at home, 2 away, plus the St Johnstone game with the last 6, 7. I'm not sure myself.
Right. I'm not sure either. I'm not sure either. But even 3 at home, right? You've then looked. Celtic go 6 ahead on Sunday. You've then got to have Celtic. They've got to wish Celtic drop 3 games. Right, we've not lost a game for October.
I know. It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to imagine losing.
It's not happening. We are going to need, that's what I said the other night, we are going to need to be really, really poor for now, probably for the next 6, 7 games. And I reckon if we win the next 5 games with a goal difference, and by the way, I think the goal difference might only increase. Just the way we're playing. And like I say, it's going to need to miraculously that we become rotten for this to go. I really do, mate. I don't even think a draw suits him on Sunday, because a draw favours us and it does him, because they'll not beat us at Celtic Park, mate. It's just not happening. In my opinion, they just won't. I've watched football for many years now. I played football. They're not beating us at Celtic Park. Not with that team. Not with the team we've got. We're a different animal at Celtic Park. Their last throw of the dice is this game on Sunday. If they don't manage to do it, obviously we've not won there for quite some time. And we've been unbeaten so many games. They've been unbeaten so many. Something's going to need to give on Sunday, mate. And just the way we've gone into it, I just think we've been playing better than they have.
Oh, definitely.
I know they say form, right, okay. But like you said earlier, if we turn up, I think you could be looking at another 2, 3 goal drubbing. Especially the way we play. And just say for talking sake, Morelos, I was going to say that because we were talking about him a minute ago. McGregor, doesn't he play the way he played at Parkhead?
Aye.
There's going to be one of the games, Ryan, where everything Celtic hit just hits the net. It's no game yet. That's still to happen, and that's scary as well.
I do believe Rangers will come out fighting. For the worst, what I think he's got to change his tactics. because if he plays the same way he did at Celtic Park, I can only see one winner. You can't sit and defend against Celtic. You just can't do it. You can sit and maybe frustrate them, but with the quality we've got, eventually the crowd get on the back when it's nothing each, and Celtic will just, like you, they're relentless, mate. They don't stop. We don't stop no matter if it's 5 minutes in or fucking 95 minutes in. I'm like you, mate. I'm a big believer. Even last year, mate, I'm a big believer in this squad we've got to now. I'm roughly the same as you and my teammate. Obviously, the back line picks itself. I didn't need to mention that. The goalkeeper picks itself. McGregor picks himself. I think Hatate will play. I think the only snag in midfield, it's either O'Reilly or Rogic. I think Rogic is going to be fit. I think because he maybe experienced in this game playing at Ibrox, Rogic might get the nod. But look at the quality of got O'Reilly being on the park. One of the most talked about stats guys down the south, Moneyball, leads everything. And he's got him to bang on the park. He's getting rave reviews after Denmark, saying he was superb when he came on. What up front, I think Giakoumakis again picks himself. Jota picks itself. But for me, he's got a decision to make with Abada and Maeda, in my opinion. I'm like you, mate. Form-wise, Maeda probably should be playing. But I watched Open Goal, and I'm similar with Simon Ferry. I do agree that he's got 17 goals, and it's a massive game. And similar, his goals are somewhat the vibe of Celtic play. Balls in the box, back post. Abada could be pitiful because it's going to be Abada's more direct than Maeda. He'll take guys on more than Maeda.
Aye.
So Maeda could be the curveball last half an hour. Fitness is doing, boom, on you get. So again, you've got options. If Maeda doesn't start, it doesn't matter because you've got Abada, even Forrest on the wing. So I think he will go with Abada. Personally, I think he will go with Abada just because.
Maybe Jota on the left, Abada on the right. You mean?
I think Abada will play, mate. Just because of what he's done this season, and I think he brings more directness than just run the boot base. I think he's just more going forward that way. But the work rate of Maeda, it could be pitiful. It's very hard to put. I'm glad I'm going to manage him, mate, because he's got a fantastic headache. And like you say, if Kyogo, I don't know what you think of this, mate, right? Obviously, it might scupper somebody like maybe a Yeti or another striker who's fit, probably a Yeti, right? It might take away a sub's position who's fully fit. But do you think you could maybe just put Kyogo on the bench just for a fear factor? Just to say, I don't know if it would date right because it's taking a guy's position that could play and whatever else, but just him to sit in that dugout and knowing that he might come on during the game. But mind games, I know that happens in football all the time.
It could potentially, Ryan, aye, but I don't think if Kyogo's on the bench, mate, I think he'll feature at some point. I think he'll be ready to go, and I think this international break would have probably helped him to get fit.
I definitely agree that people say he's no fit or this guy's no fit. See if you're on a bench, you're fit to play, in my opinion. You might be fit to play half an hour, but you're fit to play some capacity or you wouldn't be on the bench. So if you see Kyogo on the bench on Sunday, I'm not going to lie, mate. I very, very doubt it. I think he'll keep him for the semi-final. I think he'll keep him for maybe next week at the semi. I don't think it's a game to rush him in. As much as it's very important, I'd rather just keep him fit and no pull out again because it's getting to this time of the season where either big hitters, and I would include big hitters now, is Giakoumakis, your Maedas, your back. So you've got 3 or 4 of them already on the park. So do you need to risk him? Maybe no. But again, if he's fit and he's on the bench, then it's definitely a big bonus.
Giakoumakis might not last. With the pressing game that we play, might not last the 90. So
obviously, he's played as well 130 minutes where he beat or something. So he's played two games in a week as well. So
and he caused it.
It was brilliant, mate.
He caused it. I seen the highlights of the first game. His goal should have stood as well. We were the offside.
No, wasn't he?
Again, another one-touch finish because he's absolutely tremendous at it. See his timing and he's reading the game, and it's absolutely, for a big guy's size, it's scary. The positions. Who he reminds me, Ryan? You've mentioned him a couple of times on the podcast. Just his movement. See his movement. Big Cavani.
Aye.
That's similar to.
Mate, honestly, I've for a Celtic fan, mate, but just for a neutral seeing football, mate. His performance at Celtic Park, mate, I've never seen a guy obviously I played up front myself, mate. Right, and see, I like to view guys, just strikers playing, how they move, etc. And I couldn't believe people were actually questioning Craig Gordon for his header. What a fucking goal, man! That's one of the best I've ever seen, mate. His movement, direction, and that's just one reason why I love. As much as I don't like getting pumped at Buckhead in Europe, but seeing me see these guys, I don't mind paying 45 quid, mate. Shares getting beat to see that caliber play at Buckhead, mate, because you don't see it every fucking week, mate. And his movement is superb, and we've said it on this as well, mate. Jackie Marcus's movement, he might not be fucking quicker 10 yards, but for 2 or 3 yards, boom, he's away. He's fucking.
His movement, his movement. Some of the last couple of goals he scored, but that he did against Ross County. That's what it put me in mind. The big Cavani's movement. It's just sort of similar. I'm not saying he's as good. I'm not meaning that. I don't mean he's as good as him. I'm not saying. Just in similar sort of terms, his style of movement. His reading of the game's unbelievable. The way he reads the game's frightening. And like say Kyogo. I mean, Kyogo's movement's different gravy. So's Maeda's. Maeda drags 2 and 3 people away with him. He's that fast. Because the 2 and 3 people, they think the first guy's not got. They're probably right because there's no money will catch him, but the first guy's not getting him, so they try and get him. And before you know it, there's 2 or 3 dragged. All he's got to play is a cut across pass, and you've got acres of room for Hatate or McGregor or whoever to run. And that's what's happening now. It's pure manipulation and the style that Ange wants to play with the other team. It's just unbelievable. And obviously we've heard today as well about young Ben Dokes, who has now signed for Liverpool. Don't know what extent of the deal. I've only saw him holding a Liverpool jersey. I don't even know what the extent of his deal is when he goes. Is he away the news? Is he gone to the end of the season? What's happening? Don't know any of that. I just know that he's obviously chose Liverpool for his first professional contract. And you can obviously just tell that the boy's been ill-advised by his agent, and obviously he's went for financial reasons and no, it can't be for football reasons, surely. No, I mean, Mo Salah, Sadio Mane, Jota and Diaz on the shank themselves now, mate. At the thought of Ben Dokes who's just coming in, you know what I mean? They're certainly not sitting quivering, wonder if they're going to get a place in the team next season. So I don't see. I don't understand it, Ryan. I don't get his decision, his choice there. But fair enough. Obviously, Celtic can't match these teams for probably the money he's been offered. Because they can pay boys 20 grand a week, mate, and they've never seen again. They'll get loaned out to every club down south for the next 5 years. Do you know what I mean?
Was actually, see the guy sits next to me on a Saturday. I can't mind it's his cousin's pal. It's his pal's wee boy or something. Somebody, I can't mind the guy's name now. He's only Barry Corr, is that it? Dylan Corr, youth boy.
Barry Corr.
Corr.
I know the name Corr. I can't mind
Corr. He's signed a new deal recently. I'm not going to tell you what he told me his wages and that, but he's on okay money for his age, right? It's all right money, right? For considering he's in a new deal. It's only 16. He said it's only decent. It's all right. It's no fucking £10 a month, but it's all right. And I was like to him, that's a decent wage for a guy at 16 for folks with Celtic. So I was like, if that's what he's getting a month, a week, what's Dembele getting? What's Ralston getting? So I think sometimes finances is maybe made out worse than what it actually is, mate. Again, I'm only going by the big man said. I'm not going to mention the guy's name or the wages, etc. But I just know that it's all right money. Put it this way, he gets more than what I get a month, right? So it's decent money, and he's only playing with Celtic's development squad. Yep. So I'm like you, mate. I can understand to a certain degree, right? It's a different culture. You're playing with a better. Again, I've seen it's a new training ground you've got, right? I've not seen the training ground, but Lennoxtown's a top class facility. It's maybe the best in Scotland. I know Murray Park's good, and so is Hibs' training ground, but Celtic's got obviously more land to build on, so they can make it even better. But I know that it wouldn't be facilities wise. It wouldn't be a chance of playing with Liverpool, because see, let's be fair, the boy that we've seen, he's a talent, he's sharp, he's done okay in the cameos he's played, done well with Scotland 17, he's done well in the development squad, but like I say to my old man, mate, and you probably know yourself, there's guys that play with Liverpool's development squad at 17, 16, maybe in 15, who are fucking fighting, and they can't get in it, and they can't get in that squad. So
look at Ryan Kent.
Aye.
He's a prime example as to, but he couldn't get in the team.
And let's be fair, as much as I don't rate him that much, he was getting rave reviews down there saying he was going to get in the Liverpool team. Look
at the talents they've had. I mean, the boy Flanagan.
Aye.
Hardly really kicked a ball for them.
Where's he
He was meant to be the next big king. The other boy, is it Harry Wilson?
Aye, he's with Fulham now, Cardiff, isn't he? One of their teams.
Aye. He was another one that was, you know, ranted and raved about, couldn't get in their team. There is no way that boy is going. He's not been promised.
Well, there's a boy.
Klopp's not phoned the boy and says, right, you're coming into my team, unless he missed through. And I've heard he's really talented. I've only seen a couple of snippets of him, Ryan. I've not really saw that much. He is very fast. He's very, very quick. He looked very physical, like physically ready to play that level. He certainly didn't look half it the way we saw with the boy Harper and the boy Opalflex at the time when they played. Big boy Dawson was the same. He looked physically ready. And maybe we're seeing a difference here now. Maybe these boys are being coached to an extent that they're maturing and developing at a time that when they're called upon to come into the first team, probably helps as well that Ange's got a batch of more training with the first team every day. Probably does help. I would imagine that was nullified when Lennon was there.
Aye.
Because we also know Lennon wasn't interested. Lennon also didn't like to coach. He was a man manager, and that style's away now, mate. See having a guy just to motivate you. You could, mate, I could go down a pub and three or four guys could sit and motivate me, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's not like you need coach. You need to be developed in a way that you're getting better. It keeps you interested. You want to get better. You've got to want it as well, I suppose. That's a big element here. But for me, at 16 years of age, mate, I just think the boy's been ill-advised. I can't help but think he's and that seems to be an ongoing problem now where a lot of these boys, mate, they've got these agents now that think, I'll just get you mega money. And the boy's not established himself as a footballer yet, mate. He's trying to learn a trade still that he's nowhere near accomplished. He's probably got to be getting 6, 7, maybe even could be 16, 17 grand a week. 10 upwards anyway, I'd imagine now. Do you know what I mean? And he's not going to play. Look at Charlie Masonda. Look at Islam Farouz. Many of these boys have all had huge promise, mate, and have just all fell by the wayside because they've been ill-advised and made bad decision after bad decision. You're going to see this boy. I hope this boy Dokes proves me wrong. By the way, I hope he, for one reason, I just hope the boy goes and he absolutely blitters it down there and he does an Andy Robertson and makes it into the first team. That would be amazing. What a story that would be. Can I see it? No, because he plays in a position where, unless he's like fucking Ronaldinho, let's face it,
I kind of agree with what he says here, mate, but he's playing
not taking any of them out of that team.
He's playing a position where they can buy quality for that. Like your Salahs, your Manes, you've got Diaz, you've got Minamino who doesn't even play, who's fucking quality.
No, I wouldn't mind having Minamino up here, mate, I'll tell you.
You've got Firmino who doesn't always play out every week now. Again, I'm like you, mate. I hope for Scotland's sake as well that the boy plays well and eventually plays for Scotland, because again, he's a young Scottish talent. I don't want to see the boy. I know you'll get the fucking idiots. Again, this isn't to talk about Celtic fans in a bad light, but you'll get the minority who will be a bit arseholes a bit more. I hope he fucking fails and hope he does this. Listen, the boy's doing it obviously for his career. He thinks it's the right move. I hope he does well, but I do think it's financially motivated. Again, I know these days it doesn't matter if you're a Celtic fan, that you've got to make your move for your right career, but you can't come out and say that you're proud to play me your debut and big Celtic fan and then fucking, it's the same as fucking kissing the badge and a bit like you're away. That's the way I see it.
Liam Miller is a perfect example. Martin O'Neill gives the boy his chance and he shafted Daniel because he told Daniel he was no well and then ended up with Man United signing, remember?
Obviously, God rest his soul. Obviously, we don't want to talk all the dead.
No, definitely. But at the time, I meant. Sorry, at the time, I meant.
No, definitely.
At the time when he played for Celtic, Martin O'Neill gave him a big chance, and then he sort of. I'm just saying we have seen it before because O'Neill gave him a big chance, and then I think he pulled out of training because he claimed he was feeling unwell at the time. I remember it vividly.
He was obviously been touted. He was got to Man U in his foot.
It was at Man U, remember he was on because he put Sky Sports News on and he was outside Old Trafford holding up a scarf, and he was like, "What's going on? Like, you're up training to go and sign for Man United." And it's not the first time it's happened to us. As Lennon would call it, we got gazumped. That's embarrassing. Imagine your manager, your club sitting, I couldn't up. See that, mate? I can take certain things in football, right? But see when your manager, of all seasons, of the season, like we had last season, see when he's sitting there and he's laughing about it, we got gazumped. I seriously wanted to just go down to Celtic Park and just say to him, are you just not want to be here anymore? Have you lost the desire to what that badge actually stands for and what we all want? Because that's what it looked like, mate. He just, for months, he looked totally deflated, as if he didn't want to be there. Now, if things weren't rosy behind the scenes, surely he would have, been the honest Celtic man that he was, surely he would have at the time went, look, this isn't happening for me. And I think the club would be best steered forward by pastures new. But no him. He then takes the team away to Dubai and all that happens as well. And it was just one shit show after another, mate. But to sit on a live press conference, mate, and say we got gazumped, I don't even know what that word means. Here you go. I was like, what the hell is that?
I don't even think that's the fucking dictionary, mate.
But seriously, gazumped.
I know.
And that was for Ben Davis, who, again, that was like the Eddie Howe thing, remember? Oh, he's coming, he's definitely coming, he'll be there tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. And he signs for Liverpool.
Again, he's another guy, mate, that's, obviously he's played that higher level than me, he's played a better career than me, etc. But he's fucked his career, mate, because he came to Celtic and almost and he'd been a legend, but he could have came and won trophies and played in Europe and again, financially motivated. He was never going to play.
Understand that.
He was never ever going to play a Liverpool, mate. Never. He might have played a cameo role, might have played a cup game, but if I came to Celtic last year and probably played week in, week out with Julian, obviously Julian was injured, but at the back anyway with Welsh. But again, I'm like you, mate. The Dokes deal, I can understand there's maybe a clearer pathway to maybe going to the first team Liverpool. I can maybe understand that, right? But the way Ange maybe want to play. The way I see the way he's putting it down the levels, I think he's wanting a pathway for these guys to come in, and he's come out and says that if you're good enough, don't care if you're 17, 16, whatever, you'll play in my team. If I think you're good enough to step in. I do believe that some of these guys are maybe getting ill-advised, which rang me sitting at Celtic to maybe 18, 19, playing your trade, try and get in the Celtic first team first, and then you might get a move, and then you might get, listen, do you know what, you've earned your trade Celtic, you're going to get a bigger move, because surely you've got a bigger chance to get a move from Man United to Liverpool or Arsenal if you're 18, 19 and you're fucking flying. Like Frimpong, came to Celtic, done okay, and then you get a big move to Bayer Leverkusen.
I know, but see, to turn around now and say, I didn't want to move. You certainly didn't make a big fuss about it at the time, me man, when Leverkusen phoned you up.
See, that's the thing with last year, mate. You've got too many, you've got so many lies about Lenny saying this guy, isn't it? He's saying Christie wants to go with Edouard man going, the players are coming out saying, listen, I agree with you. I don't know if you think, mate, and certain fans, I don't know if they think it as well, but see when in clubs that set bids, the players have got fucking no saying it. The players can say I don't want to go, but if they don't go, they just sit in the fucking, they just rot. Because the club, if you're not back going to a club for 15, 20 million, do you really think the club is going to fucking sit you back and play again? I don't fuck. So the players are...
It depends, Ryan. I think it depends as well on what player it is and all, because you're talking in terms of like Tierney and Big Eye. See if David had really didn't want to leave Celtic, mate. They would have been playing with Celtic, mate.
I'd probably say, see like Edouard, right? He went for 17 million pounds. But see if he went to Palace and went, you know what? I don't want to go. I've just wanted my contract. And I generally believe it because he's already saying, do you know what? No, I'll just start in the season with my contract out. So as much as I said I'd have let him do that, but the fact you've went and said to another clubs, nah, I'll just sit and do that. I don't think he'd have played. I think Lennon would have binned him, or Kennedy. I think would have binned him.
Well, apparently, I'm only hearing for what I'm hearing. Should I say? Here, you can only hear what you hear. Apparently, he's already come out now in a couple of wee podcasts on like French media podcasts.
What's saying it? And
apparently saying he's made a big boob because the fans don't love him the way he was loved up here. So, and I don't think he's done that well for them.
He scored 4 or 5 goals or something. It just shows you, mate, that we've spoke about it.
He doesn't play weekend and week out either, Ryan. Considering the manager that spoke very highly of him, who's the manager, that rated him very well, but he doesn't play him every week. I don't get that, Ryan. I don't know.
It's something we've spoken about in this and all, mate. Again, if it's any of your listeners kind of listening, we've spoken about it quite a lot, that when you leave Celtic, unless you're fucking Kieran Tierney or you're Van Dijk's, and maybe even Fraser Forster, like Southampton, but very rarely do you go to the highest heights and really go to a bigger club in Celtic, because as much as we play in Scotland, Joe Hart even says you don't realise how big this club is. The fans are massive, the club's massive, the town's massive, the fans love you. It's an unbelievable club. Listen, Rangers, Aberdeen, Celtic, you all get minority of fans who are just, they talk about a shite and they can be arseholes, but 9 times out of 10 the Celtic fans, for my experiences going abroad and home games, away games, I like to think we're brand new. And I just think that why would you want to come to a club at Celtic? You're blinded by, we all know that you know yourself, mate, Celtic's a business. I know guys will go, guys will leave, but there's a time when you go, and sometimes I think some players leave too quick, too early in their career. Tierney, for me, he had to go. I think he kind of, his level was stalling at Celtic at the time. I thought he was, don't want to say he was bigger than Celtic, but he was really, really good. And I think he's going to Arsenal now, and I think he will go further. If it's either Madrid or fucking Napoli or something, I think he will go bigger than Arsenal in time. Again, Big Aya, don't know if he thinks he's made a boob. He's went to Brentford. I think that's a fucking crazy move. I don't understand why he moved to Brentford. For me, it's only money. You're playing against maybe the best guys in the world in the league, and on Sky Sports every week. You're maybe getting more international call-ups, but he played with Norway when he played with Celtic anyway. So for me, I'm like you, mate. Sometimes I do think it's you want to go and express yourself and play at a higher level. I understand that, but for me, mate, I'm all about, for me personally, money's a bonus, but money's love it, mate. Like Ange says, if you leave your retirement stage as a football player and you've won trophies and you play for your country, you should be fucking proud of yourself. But you don't look at your bank balance and go, I can't make £1 million, but I've won no trophies. For me, even I've not played football in 4 or 5 years, mate. I've got trophies in my room. I still look at them. We're only amateur, I'm 21, but I still go, I won trophies. Do you know what I mean? For me, football was all about trophies for me. And I don't see that. Obviously, with this Celtic team, I see it. But with some guys out with Celtic, your bigger players, again, we can only go by, again, what I say, mate, we can only go by what you see in the papers and online. Yeah. We don't know these guys individually. I just see some of these guys going for financial reasons. I don't see them going to win trophies, because what trophies is Vlad going to win again in his life? He might win fuck all again, ever again. Might not win a league title again. Might never play Europe again. I don't think he play with France anymore. The chance of him going to play with France now, he's not playing every week with Palace, but with Celtic, he's playing Europe, biggest stage in the world. He's going to get highlighted there. So I'm like you, mate. I just think most of the time it's sort of with the Buddle.
Oh, definitely. It totally baffles me. I think Roy Keane hits on me a few truths when he's talking about John Walters.
Aye.
And he says to I think he's on the Irish show, isn't he, with the 2 Irish fellas?
Is that BBC or football something like that?
Football something, aye. He does the interview with him and he's talking about John Walters and he calls him a buffer.
That's the red chairs and that, isn't it?
Aye. He calls him a bluffer. He says, I know all about John Walters. He said, he might have, they're like, he's made a few quid. He went, aye. He said, but instead of doing that, why don't you lay low, count your medals? He went, that'll not take him long. Aye. Because he never won any. So for a guy that, the way he talks like he's Ronaldo. And he's not won anything. I'm baffled by it now. I totally am. I don't get guys who just want to earn the money fair enough, you've got families to look after. I'm not daft enough to understand, but see if you can't live off something like £35,000 a week, mate, there is something far wrong with your mentality. There really is.
I think
if you can't live with 20 grand a week, mate, there's something wrong with you.
If you're stinting these days, mate, on the wages some of these players get, obviously some people get, like you say, out advised with property or companies, etc. I know that happened with Big Chris Sutton, guys like that, doing it Blackburn or Norwich. I think they get ill advised in certain stuff. I think Tom O'Neill spoke about it. They get ill advised and stuff.
Aye.
That can happen. But these days, mate, like you say, even if you're on 10 grand a week, mate, fucking hell. But that's your basic, remember. That's your no winning trophies or getting goals or appearance money.
And all your bonuses, your kit deals and
your boot deals, etc.
Your boot deals and all that as well. So, as I say, mate, say, look at Bruni. Bruni could have went and played down in the Premier League.
Spurs and Newcastle for £10 million.
That's what I'm saying. So,
but you'll get them across. The people in Scotland think that didn't happen, mate. They think that didn't happen. As soon as Scott Brown was at Celtic 6 months a year, and it was in Scott Brown committee says that Newcastle and Spurs wanted me, but I wanted to stay Celtic.
I think before he signed his the second part of his long-term deal was, I think Crystal Palace wanted him as well, and that was at the time they had McArthur. Or was it McCarthy? One of them. They wanted Brunner in as well. But no, as I say, I just don't get I understand, right? You get to a point. I mean, some of the boys have been lucky. Like Bruni, he's been probably the most successful Celtic captain in an era that we won a lot of trophies. Do you know what I mean? Kieran Tierney, Brian Christie, McGregor, they were all part of that team now that won all the trebles. That guy. So I get, right, when you won a treble with Celtic,
what else can you do, really?
What else can you really do apart from get to the Champions League group stages? Because I think you said in the group chat earlier, mate, not everybody wants to play the Europa League. The Europa League is getting better, don't get me wrong, and I think it's becoming very an attractive commodity now. You just got to look at some of the teams that's in the Europa League. I mean, some of them should be Champions League teams, as we say. But the Europa League itself is improving. So, at any level of European football, mate, I don't know any player that wouldn't want to play that. I really don't. Like, you play me, and take that into consideration. You've got that campaign, you've got your domestic football campaign, you're challenging for titles, and you're there. You've won a cup already this season. You're then playing international football. Some of these guys have only just been called up for the first time just in that break there.
Yep.
But that's the recognition they've got now for playing with Celtic. No playing with MK Dons and I don't mean that disrespectfully, but meaning O'Reilly there. But would O'Reilly have got to the under-21s of Denmark if he wouldn't have been playing with Celtic? I don't think so, right? I don't think he would have taken that into consideration, mate.
No, because he's playing at a high level now. Well,
that's it. And he's doing it against teams like Rangers and teams he done well in Europe there for us as well. So he's doing it. He's doing it against these teams who have got good players in their team. And he's doing it at a high level. Ange's team's hitting numbers, mate, that are right off the charts, mate. They're off the charts in terms of numbers, stats, running, tempo, everything they do. We're being talked about here in Australia, right? Like, humongously. More so now than probably the last 10 years, I would imagine. You see that now, fans came in, you're starting to see more media outlets hitting YouTube and hitting this and hitting that, and it's Ange's on this one and he's on that one and he's talking to this one and he's talking to that. And it's all different Australian people that are all want to talk to him now. And that brand itself with Ange, Celtic come along with that now. And it's the same in Japan. We've been talked about humongously now. So that's good business in terms of guys that we've got in our team, the manager we've got, because let's face it, I mean, we all know he's like fucking Guardiola there at the other side of the world.
He's massive, mate.
He's massive.
Kim Cahill came out yesterday. He says he's Australia's one of the biggest managers ever.
Definitely. Like, he's humongous at that side of the world. Their football is obviously now developing, and it's now getting to a level where they are getting better. But it's frightening me. I've done a bit of research, obviously, for Anne Sideways, and obviously before he signed, and she looking at the way they look at him, he's a god there, man.
Mm-hmm.
Even parts of Greece. Like, because he was a Greek, and then he moved, he was an immigrant, and he moved to Australia, and just, and now he's massive with us. Just because of who he is, Ryan. Not because of what he's done. Because of it, I think it's meant to do with the person he is, Ryan. We could lose this league, Ryan. Okay, it'll be disappointing, right? Very disappointing. But his job's not, what I'm trying to say, his job's not going to be under threat, mate.
I think now, obviously at the start of the season, if we come in and we thought, if you
the start
like
of it, we were all worried, remember?
But I think now, you know what you can bring to the table, and you know next year you'd be better for the chance to win the league. But as I say, mate, as much as you don't want to count your chickens, you never get far ahead in football, because we all know anything can fucking happen in football. If we win on Sunday, mate, I just can't see how we lose it. I could have humble pie. This podcast could get fucking booked up by Rangers fans. Listen, at the time of this, we are the favourites, my opinion. But the favourites to win on Sunday, no matter if they're 50,000 fans or whatever else. Yep. I just believe that the game's massive, mate. It's a massive game. And obviously, talking about Australia, obviously I've heard to say they're pulled out the friendly. I've read about their statement, and they're basically saying that, again, the fucking statement FC, it's fucking statement after statement. The big house.
They're always offended at something.
They're offended because the big house isn't going to be called the Old Firm. The Old Firm died when he was liquidated, and it just about died when he's fucking done the allocation. That's when I would say it totally fuck off. He's totally fucked the game. He's fucked the derby for yourself. And he just won't admit it that there's not enough Old Firm branding, and Celtic's getting more money, and Celtic's getting most of the tickets for the games, supporters clubs, and fucking.
They're calling it Angie's homecoming.
Homecoming, why is it not? Listen, you knew this before you signed the fucking contract for the friendly. You signed the contract for the friendly because you were getting Boodle, and now you need to pay Boodle to probably cancel the contract. And supposedly now, there's things coming out today about there's going to be court cases coming up with Rangers with money, and like Ashley, there'll be more. Listen, if they lose the league, there'll be more share issues, and fucking googly eyes Dave King's trying to say he's going to pay. He can't pay a transfer fee, so he's going to pay this. Honestly, right, see if I was a Rangers fan, mate, right, I would be fucking dealing with my club for even agreeing with us. We were all dealing with it, and it's fucking our homecoming. We were dealing with it as fan. Why? You don't want us to go to fucking pre-season friendlies abroad. So why in November would you take a friendly, which the World Cup really about the ends roughly, so it might only be Finns players are going to be playing, so the fans aren't getting the full fruits of a Glasgow derby. Or Rangers want to call it fucking Old Firm. So for me, mate, I agree with the fans, right? I'm for them, I'm glad they're put out, because if we won the treble, mate, right, against a massive even if you win the league, they're coming to basically celebrate Celtic win the league. And see, by November, we could be ahead of the league next year in November, or this year coming. So I can totally understand the fans.
That's part of the break, isn't it? We've already broke up because the players will be away with an international getting prepared for a World Cup. Is that right? Is that how that came about?
Mate, so I'm happy for. I'm not happy for the fans, but I can agree with the fans why they'd be happy it's not happening. But it shouldn't have took fucking fans pressure, mate, for them. Fucking, that's the fact that they're going to make money off this, and then they're breaching their contract. Which I like to think, I don't know contracts, mate, but I like to think they're breaching my contract here, right?
No, they have.
Surely fans can sue them, because fans are buying tickets for this, and now they're not getting our club, and fans will go, why don't I buy tickets to go and see fucking Celtic versus Sydney Wanderers or fucking, I don't know, Australian teams, right? Do you know what I mean? Again, that's no disrespect to Australia, but they're expecting this game. It's laughable, mate. They've totally fucked up the fans.
Maybe need to get Sam on to find out if there's any dirty team there.
Mate, they've totally fucked the fans there again, fleecing the fans for money. Mate, I know for a fact there's Rangers fans that have booked flights for Leicester. They've lost it. Rangers fans are paying money for something they can't go and see now. Which I'm not going to lie, right? People will say you shouldn't feel shite. I'm a human being. I feel fucking shite, right? But come on, it's funny. Why would you agree to a friendly that nobody wants? Celtic have came to you, listen, we might win the league this year. We might win a treble, but Barry, do you want to come and celebrate it in fucking November?
Aye.
I really don't know who's dealing with their listen, that's the type
Tends
of
to be
stuff.
nice, isn't it? I mean, you want to invite people that are...
JP, that's the type of stuff our board done last year.
Aye.
That's the Dubai. I could say that's equivalent to going to something that you
Aye.
shouldn't be doing.
Uh-huh.
Honestly, mate, I'll let you talk now because I just had to get out there because that's. I'm not wanting to be laughing, mate, because it's a serious it's shit for the fans. They'll be shit here again, but it's fucking the board. Honestly, mate, if we win the league this year, which I like to think they will, their fans will go, oh, this is mate. They'll be fucking George Square, will be fucked.
Well,
again,
they're not big garden statues, that's for sure.
The fucking Garden Greg sucking state buys, man. State bakes.
I'd imagine a few of the local credit unions will be saying themselves in Monaghan what that phone doesn't ring.
Mad Angels!
We're going to go live outside the Bristol bar on Duke Street.
What you doing, man? Keep the big house open.
Craig White's at the airport with a briefcase.
Aye.
No, credit unions, man, they'll be shouting themselves the phone doesn't go tomorrow. Right, we've got another fight to play, any chance here?
Aye.
Any chance you getting this on the tick before we go?
Honestly, mate, as much as we're having banter about it, mate, it's genuinely seriously for the fans.
I don't think they're going to get that on one of their fancy payment plans that they seem to have. They buy now, pay 25-year time, and we get our memory back.
Well, I think what Dave Murray says, whatever Celtic spend, we'll spend. I don't think that's happening anymore, David boy.
He never even sold the club for a tenner, a pound.
Pound.
No. I'm absolutely baffled with the whole thing, mate. I can understand, obviously, like, for your side of the coin, it's Ange that's done this. You can tell it's Ange that's done it, and that's fine. I don't have any issues with that whatsoever. In terms of them agreeing to that, I'm talking about them, Jose Vata. I'm just totally baffled by it. Like, they must have known all the ground rules would have been done first and foremost. Sorry
to cut you, mate, but the fact they went, there's no old for a minute. How's that a reason to call it? Come on, man. They're trying to make excuses to the fans to kid on, they're doing something about it.
Actually, this is what I firmly believe. I think they thought Ryanair was taking them, and they realised that they're not going to afford the flights.
They ain't paying extra luggage, you can't go.
And I've heard 5 or 6 of them need water wings to swim, so that wasn't an option.
Big Connor Golson can't swim, he can't go.
No, Gio's got to water wings on, he's got to have a rubber ring on his waist.
It doesn't like spiders.
And he's shit scared of crocodiles when he gets to the Oz.
I need to buy my mosquito net, I can't fit in
it. The boys have just got a hammock set up in the back of the bus.
Fucking mystery machine bus.
Get him a packed lunch, shut him up.
Gio, sit the corner.
Gio, just you get there. It's all right. Jimmy's got your fruit shoot. Every 10 minutes, mate, stop now. You need your toilet.
He said, me came in the back of the bus.
Roy Mackay forgot his potty.
But a serious matter, mate, and it's fucking, and it's why would they even?
It's craziness. It's one of the things you're just not wired up the right way. You know what I mean? It's brilliant, but it's in a way it's brilliant for other people to watch. Mm-hmm. But it'd be shite for them, I'd imagine. because obviously what's not happened. But as I said, as you said yourself, there's guys booked flights and they've booked tickets, and I don't know what they're going to do now. I don't think you can get refunds for. I personally don't know. I don't want to say you can't get refunds for going to Australia, but I would imagine it'd be very difficult, mate. It's a country you'd need to save up significantly just to visit. And it's not just, you can't just jump your BMX and go down the road, know what I mean?
Mind that back in the old days, used to put wee fucking plastic bottles at the back of your bike.
Aye, sounds like a Suzuki 5-speed.
Aye. Fucking I'll get your shoe on tours, man, with that nos.
Aye. Right, Gio, you can't take that. Ask it stabilisers on it.
Gio, mind your helmet. Mind your wee helmet there, son.
Comes out for a trip, a Paw Patrol helmet.
Oh, brilliant.
He's Peppa Pig lunchbox.
Aye. He's all off them or that. Oh, brilliant.
Aye, magic.
Obviously on a game, mate, the last obviously I think we'll try and get another podcast in for maybe Saturday night or something, Sunday morning, but which are obviously, as it stands at the moment, mate, what's your feelings towards obviously the big house game on Sunday?
I'm just looking forward to it, mate. As I say, we're now approaching that stage of the week now where you can start looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to seeing Celtic again, first and foremost. I feel as if it's been I hate international weeks, mate. I hate this. As much as I'm a big Scotland fan as well, but I just hate the length of time internationals take. They just drag in. And especially when there's like a double header involved with internationals, do you know what I mean? But it'll be interesting to see what team he puts out. I do think we'll go strong, and no Ange we'll certainly be having a go at them. That's for sure. We'll know about it to just make up the numbers. And if they're not ready for that, then they could get hit something terrible. Because I know what we're capable of bringing. I know we're probably more than likely to bring. So if they're not ready for that, then they're in for a rude awakening come Sunday. Because the league table is just going to peter away for them, I think. And as I say, it's a game they must win. It's a game I think we will win, though. I think we'll win 2-0. I think we'll keep a clean sheet. I think we're good enough to keep a clean sheet because we've been that solid all season. If they don't have Morelos, then it could be anything at all. It could be me. I don't think they're going to have Morelos, though. No. And I think reality will start happening. And I think if Kyogo's on the bench, I do think he'll come on, Ryan. I think he'll feature, even if it's just to get his legs around a bit. He will come on. If he's on the bench, mate, he'll come on, because I've heard Ange talk about him before. And Ange just says, no, if Kyogo's fit, he'll play. He wasn't even 100%, Ryan, and he wanted to play that cup final, and Ange played him. So I just know, because Ange knows what he'll bring. He knows what he can still bring. And even with the ball, Ryan, his quality, like his wee turns, and you saw his vision in Ferencváros as well, with that one he put through to Abada, and he's 1-2 ahead of most people with what he's got to do, do you know what I mean? And he's now got guys on about him on the wavelength, the same wavelength, Maeda and Hatate. I'm looking forward to seeing, Ryan. I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the team together as a three. And I'm looking forward to seeing Ideguchi as well, because obviously we're hearing he's fully fit now. So it's been a shame for him. I feel sorry for him. He's not really had a chance.
Yeah.
And I do think he'll get his time as well, where he'll get a chance to show us what he can do. I did think it would have came sooner, but obviously we're going for the title now, so I think that's why we've not really seen him, and the team's been playing really well. So I'm looking forward to it, Ryan. Obviously it's a big game. You always look forward to the big games in their own Sky, and I'm just looking forward to seeing Celtic again, first and foremost, mate. Win, lose or draw, I'm not going to be disheartened, because there's still a good bit to go in the season. Obviously, if I win, I'll be ecstatic, to be honest, because we've not won there for quite a while. So it'd be nice to be nice to put one element and get the one. I think that would just deflate him, though, mate. I really do think that'll take all the momentum away from him. So I'm looking forward to it, mate.
Yeah, I'm the same as you, mate. Obviously, we'll speak about trying to get a podcast in before the game, but I do believe, mate, that I guess first and foremost, I'm just happy we have club football back. I'm like you, I'm a Scotland fan, but you don't get the same excitement to see Celtic play. Like you say, the squad's just about fully fit. There've been a few guys who've not played international during the week, so they've been fully rested. Again, like you, mate, I'm going to go with the same performance as the last game. I'm feeling off, and I'll even put the bet on again that I done the last time. I'm confident we won the game, mate. Very confident. Again, sometimes you just get fucking egg in your face, but I do believe that we will get a job done. And again, I like to think after that, could the goal difference, I think it might be games a bogey, but again, like we say, football can change. But again, JP, thanks for your time again, mate. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, and hopefully, if we don't see a game, mate, we get a good victory in Hail.
Give me yourself, Ryan. Hail.